Recording in progress.
Hey
Hey
Jeff,
Jeff,
how's it
how's
going? Hey Jeff. Oh, let's see. I can't hear you for whatever reason. Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Let me change my volume settings because I don't see that you're on mute. Seems good. Test. Testing one, two, three. Hey Jeff, I, I can't seem to hear you, but I do see that you're not on mute. So, okay. Hey Sonia. I was just helping Jeff troubleshoot. I was hearing that he was speaking not on mute, but I don't know what's happening. Anyway, hey
Oh,
Sonia, how are you doing?
hey, I'm good.
Hey Jeff, can you mention anything now? Just want to double check audio. Test,
test
test.
test?
Oh, I hear
I hear
echoing.
echoing.
Can you speak?
Oh, yes, sure. Okay. Hey, hello, everyone.
Hey Sim.
Hi.
Oh
Sorry.
no, we were just testing
Yeah.
audio with Jeff earlier. So it
Okay.
was nothing with you. Yeah, we're just doing a quick test. Jeff, you're good though.
Good. All right, good.
Yeah. What changed, by the way? Was it just like reconnecting, rejoining helped?
Yeah, I sometimes it just connect my Bluetooth automatically.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah.
happens to me too. Like sometimes my phone is, it helps sometimes because it's like my phone is it at the home and then my car leaves. And I'm just like, wait, what the heck is happening? Everything is disconnecting. So this is great. And this is the anti-glare setup.
No, it's the shade to prevent overheat.
Oh, right, right. The phone overheating. Okay, I think I just want to quickly review the rules or the roles before we proceed. We're missing speakers. So I was thinking of just
Yes.
giving prompts based off of this to make a kind of like the mini speechathon. And then we'll
Okay.
still be able to give evaluations. So Sib, we have you down as evaluator one. That's perfect. Sonia, would you be able to take on timer? Would that work?
Let me check. Well, I can probably do it from my phone.
Okay. If not, I think would Marion work out better?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, perfect. Brian, would you be okay with being the timer for today?
Yeah, no problem. I can be done.
All right, thank you. And then we have, let's see, Benson is our table topics. He'll be arriving. Betty mentioned she's not able to make it today. Joanne will be giving a speech next week, so we'll have one speaker slot ready for then. Let's see, let's see. So we have timer on Marion. We would just need a second evaluator and then we'll be good. For today, we'll just be giving a chance for anyone who'd like to give an impromptu speech that opportunity. And it could be related to the theme. I'm already just defaulting Jeff to as a speaker if you'd like, Jeff. And it could be based off of the theme, or if there was something that you'd like to talk. Like I can just give a question and you could just speak on it. Would that work?
Thing, by the way, what's a thing?
The theme is acting it out. So it's the idea of just like expressing yourself with your body or using improv or acting, whatever you like to use as a form of relief.
Good. I'll be the second speaker. Did you say speech marathon?
Yeah, the speakathon, the speechathon. So it's kind of like that where we're just having multiple people go back to back with impromptu speaking. We'll just have evaluations though, just to keep with the flow. But I do know we want to experiment with having a speechathon at one of these meetings one day. So we'll have it planned though.
Good idea. But if not, then I'll be the second speaker.
Okay, we'll put you down as speaker. Huge.
Hey,
How'd you get? We'll be starting shortly, and I just wanted to do a brief confirmation of the roles. Benson, I have you down as Table Topics Master. Does that still work?
yeah, it works.
Okay. And we have Brian down as the timer. And I think we'll just need the second evaluator. Sanuj, would you be open to being Jeff's evaluator? Or would that work?
Yes, happy to. I'll be right back. I just need to go get headphones. Be right back.
All right, sounds good. Was there anyone who would like to be the first speaker or to give that a shot? Just impromptu speech, so no pressure. And it could be any time between either 4 to 6 or 5 to 7, whichever one's your preference. I think Siv, your evaluator one, but if you wanted to give it a shot, I could definitely, I could
Okay.
definitely be your evaluator.
All right. You know, I always like opportunities to give an impromptu speech, even though this may not be the most inspiring topic for me, but extra challenge.
Yeah, I'll send you a few
Well,
questions, and then you could feel free to choose which one you feel resonates with you the most, as I do the introductions and call on people for
Okay.
their roles. Sending it
Thank
out
you.
privately now.
Thank you, Vincent.
Okay, welcome everyone to. Actually, I'll hand it off to Jeff at Sergeant Arms. Jeff, feel free to open up the meeting, and I'll be able to get it started.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Today is Security Speaking Club at the 1,000 and plus 10,000 times. It's a good day here, and you'll see probably I will be sweating in the car, but you don't need to care about me. And let's welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Vincent.
Thank you, Jeff. Hopefully we don't keep you for too long, and the car is air conditioned or there's good air flowing. But thank you everyone for being able to make it to today's Toastmasters meeting. My name is Vincent. I'll be your Toastmaster for the day. The theme I chose was acting it out, and the main reason why I chose this was because recently I read a book called The Body Keeps the Score, and it was talked about trauma that sometimes we can get over time, and sometimes we don't know what is causing the trauma. But either way, over time, it talks about the importance of managing your mental health. And one thing that the author recommended, or something that worked for his son, was when his son joined a theater troupe and he did improv. One thing that the improv helped out with was it allowed his son to adopt different characters, different sorts of mindsets, and really allow him to embrace emotion versus trying to, I wouldn't say run away from it, but I know I find myself avoiding it or avoiding confronting with certain problems because I would think, I'm feeling sad. I'd rather just eat, or I'd rather just watch TV or play video games or something to avoid the problem altogether. But acting it out or using emotions, you really dive deep into the character, trying to understand what they feel and figure out how to express it. So I've chosen the theme as acting it out in that spirit. At times, it could be, to lead up with the word of the day, cathartic. Cathartic means to provide psychological relief through the open expression of strong emotions. As an example in relation to Toastmasters, for me, table topics can be cathartic. It's a chance to let out thoughts I usually keep bottled up. I encourage everyone to use the word of the day, cathartic, and I'll be posting it in the chat as well. Next, I'd like to introduce the functioning rules that will be helping support us today. First, I'd like to call on our timer, Brian. Brian, thank you for being able to take this on. Would you be able to demonstrate what your role is as a timer and what backgrounds you'll be showing us?
Well, today, as a timer, I'll be timing our speakers today at minimum time of throwing up the green background, and middle of your allotted time would be this yellow background, and at the end of your allotted time would be this red background. Back to you, Mr. Testmaster.
All right, thank you, Brian. And Jeff, to confirm, are you able to see the color changes as well? We can have Brian pinned or have him raise his hand during your section, just to make sure.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Oh yeah, no worries. Just wanted to
Yeah.
double check. All right, thank you, Brian. Next, I'd like to call on our Marion today, Sonia. Sonia, would you be able to briefly describe your role and what you'll be looking out for today?
Absolutely. Today, I will be looking out for uses of the English language, especially good, especially bad, our word of the day, and I will give you a tally at the end of the day for that. I'll also be looking for crutch words or crutch sounds, and I will also be giving you a report of that at the end of our day today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonia, for describing your role. Now that we've covered the main function rules, the timer and the Marion, we're going to get right into the speaking section for today's meeting. Today, we have two impromptu speeches. First speaker is Sib, and the second one is Jeff. Sib, I wanted to confirm, were you able to find a topic that fit for you for the or question that aligns for you?
Because this is a choice.
Sorry, what was
I will
that?
go with the first one.
Okay, sounds good. Then was there a preferred timing that you'd like for this one? 4 to 6, 5 to 7?
46.
Okay, perfect. 4 to 6 minutes. Please help me welcome Sib with, and did you want me to introduce the question, or would you like
Yes,
to?
please go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
For Sib's question, they chose, what do you notice or feel when you act out a situation instead of just talking about it? What do you notice or feel when you act out a situation instead of just talking about it? Please help me welcome Sib.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. It is a difficult question for me to answer at this point in my life because I rarely scratch that. I never act out situations. And I frankly don't think that I did aside from practicing presentations. When I had to give a presentation for my work on my research as a graduate student, I would act up presenting it, and even on my own, I would try and imagine myself in the situation as much as possible. But that was not about dealing with feelings in one way or another. It was purely practicing speech, which has always been a challenge for me, which is why I'm here. I have heard that acting out situations, notably in the context of acting, can allow you to feel other people's emotions. And I have always been curious about that because I have a friend whose opinions, intelligence, and wisdom I respect a lot. A friend from childhood who, a long time ago, did some acting and found it extremely interesting for that reason and extremely educational as far as emotional intelligence is concerned. And I've often thought that it is a great pity that we do not use acting as a means to develop our emotional intelligence with one another as part of the education system or even as part of family therapy. Maybe it is used a little bit in family therapy. I don't know. I've never heard that it is. What I used to find very cathartic when I was younger was letting myself feel my own emotions. It came naturally. I think because I had not yet had to push them down for a very long time. I had that ability. I could push them down for several hours, but then I'd go home and I'd be alone at home and I could cry to my heart's content about all the frustrations of the day. And I noticed that when I eventually found myself in a situation when I could not do that anymore, I started feeling anxiety. And I got over that because the situation in which I was improved, objectively improved. It stopped being stressful, nearly as stressful as it had been. And I felt strong again for many years. But then eventually, I very much got the opportunity to discuss The Body Keeps the Score because, as I had mentioned before, I came down with complex PTSD. And one of the consequences of that is that I am not in touch with my feelings as much as I used to before. I often do not know what I feel, if that makes any sense. They are so numb that they are hardly there. They do not really feel like feelings. They feel like purely cognitive processes and moods rather than really something physical, as our feelings naturally are, which I did not realize until I lost the ability to feel in that way. So I am very curious about acting again, because after what you mentioned, perhaps it would be therapeutic for me to try and act out other people's feelings. And it could teach me to develop the physical part of feelings again. I have no idea, but I think either way, it would be an interesting educational experience which I could share, whether positive or negative, with others who find themselves in the same situation as I am, and considering how stressful the world is getting, and more so, there are unfortunately more and more of us. So thank you very much, Toastmaster, for the opportunity to not so much speak of my own experience on this topic because I do not have much of it, but reflect upon it and get inspired by it for possible action in the future.
Thank you
Back
so
to
much,
you,
Sib.
Toastmaster.
Thank you, Sib, for being able to share your story about how, I guess it was a story from what I heard. It was like a story about how you transitioned from being acting out before, being able to fully express your emotion before, to kind of like the journey of suppressing it and then trying to rediscover that again. So thank you for sharing that journey with us. I'd like to now take a minute of silence. If Brian, if you could time it, please paste the feedback in the first form, the feedback form posted in the chat to send to Sib. And Sib, you'll be able to review it later on in the second link as well. Thank you, Brian. Next, we'll be continuing to our second speaker. Where did he go? Wait, did Jeff just exit out? Okay. We'll give it a little bit. Let me ping him to make sure that everything is all right. And if he's not back in a minute or so, perhaps we'll do table topics for a bit, and then if he manages, okay, there we go. I was buying time there. That was my secret plan. Hey, Jeff, how's it? How is it going? How does it sound? Hey, Jeff, can you hear us? Testing, testing.
Over
Okay.
10. I have to hold it. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. And was there preferred time that you had for this, either 4 to 6 or 5 to 7?
5 to 7.
Okay,
Please. Give
sounds
me half.
good. And was there anything you'd like me to introduce you with? You can introduce your title if you'd like.
That part, right?
Yeah, just a speech title.
Speech title.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I was just trying to fix my over 10 phone.
Okay. And I think, wait, does it sound muffled a little bit to anyone, or is it just me? Just a little muffled? Wait, can you say a few things, Jeff?
Because I use the water to, I pour the water on my iPhone, and now my iPhone speaker is kind of bad. Shoot, I probably just damaged my iPhone. But anyway, can you guys hear me well?
Let me. It's like we can kind of make out what you're saying, but not quite. At least for me.
Yeah, it's a little muffled, kind of like speaking through water.
Can you shake the
Hello?
water out of your microphone? Just okay. Oh
Okay.
no.
Yeah, we'll do table topics for a bit, perhaps, and then, or should we just give?
Why don't we try a table topic, and then if he comes back, we can always finish the table topic and switch over to his speech.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay,
Well, so
okay.
for a temporary reprieve, we'll take a moment for Jeff to be able to figure out the text situation, and I'd like to continue with the second section, table topics. For the table
Mhm.
topics master for today, please help me welcome Benson.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster. Yeah, be careful. Don't spread your water on your keyboard at least for an hour. That reminds me, I spread my coffee on the keyboard. It just make my new laptop gone. Yeah. It's just like that. Just stop working. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, so today's table topic is about acting out. The word of the day is cathartic. Cathartic. I encourage everybody to use that cathartic in their speech. I collect 12 questions for the theme. So if anybody volunteer for the first, I can give him a question so that can start the table topic. Anybody volunteer? If not, I'll pick somebody from left to right. Brian, 1 to 12.
Let's do 3.
Okay, 3 it is. Brian, do you ever listen to the sad songs when you are down? Does it make you feel better or worse? Brian.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. I try not to feel down. I think a lot of us could relate because when you feel down, you're feeling down. And we don't really want to feel that way. And a lot of us, as we grow older, we push those feelings deep down. And you just shove them and you punch them into your core and you just stuff them. And when we think of cathartic activities to help us feel these emotions, I just often remind myself that of a time where I felt like I needed to physically cry, and I just remember that for a split second. for a split second, but like, oh, I felt it. I'm good. I'm good for another year as I stuff those feelings back down into my core. There is a song that I'd like to share with all of you. And it makes me think of my mom. Right? And uh it is a song from the Dumbo movie. I think it's called Baby Be Mine. If you listen to that song, it's a very sweet song. And if you know the story of Dumbo, it's about ultimately it's like the loss of Dumbo's mom. And it reminds me of that. And just talking about it, now I'm starting to feel cathartic. And now I stuff it back in. I stuff it back in there. Now I'm fine. Because as we grow older, and especially for dude, you gotta be tough and masculine and stuff those emotions back down. And that's my strategy for getting through life, getting through the days. You know, you start thinking about emotional things, feeling cathartic, and then you stuff it back down. Back down. And I know a lot of us are going through some tough times. You know, we're always going through tough times. And it's craziness out there, and we have lots of concerns and responsibilities, but you know, think of those times when you do feel emotions and then stuff them back in. With that, I'd like to hand it back over to you, Mr. Tabletop's Master.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. A great topic. Okay, let me got another one left. It's Sonia, number 1 to 12, except 3.
Number 9.
Number 9 it is. Number 9, Sonia, do you find certain hobbies like drawing, writing, or even cooking help you release stress? Sonia.
Yes, my fellow Toastmasters, I'm a person who has given up the news. Unless it is something happens out there in the world that someone else in my life says, "Have you heard?" I haven't heard. There are very few news shows that I will tune into even occasionally. And that's by choice because the news is depressing. So I don't watch it. Shows up on when I open up a browser, I might see it. But that's really, I'd make that choice. And it's not that I want to be ignorant about what's going on in the world. It's that I don't want to be bombarded by all that negativity. I don't go on Facebook. I don't do Twitter or X now. I don't do any of those things because I don't want to doom scroll. I don't want that negativity. So what I do instead is I play with Legos. I do adult coloring. I do watercolors now. I've done quite a few pictures of flowers that I've taken pictures with my phone out and about on walks, and then I come home and I do watercolors of those flowers. So I have found other ways to bring beauty into my life. And I also do a lot of community service, helping others who are down and out. And that brings that little warm and happy, fuzzy feeling into my life. So I know I'm putting good out there. I also find that doing some of my arts and crafts type activities help me to focus just on what I happen to be doing in that point in time. You have to be present, you have to focus, and that is stress relieving, stress reducing. I find that helping at the local pantry, doing that community service is cathartic because I'm giving back to my community. And that makes me feel good about at least what I'm doing in my community, regardless of what I hear in passing on what's going on with in the news, either locally or nationally, etc. Because there's too much hate and too much violence and too much negativity out there. So at least I'm giving a little extra out to my local community and doing a little bit of good. And our environment is what we make of it, right? So I'm trying to make a positive impact. So that's what I do. Thank you very much for the question.
Thank you, Sonia, for sharing your experience how to release your stress. That's very, very knowledgeable. It's good. Next, I believe it's Sunny. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 to 12, except 3 and 9.
Let's go 8.
8 it is. Sunny, have you ever had a moment where a good cry or even yelling into a pillow helped you feel calmer? Sunny.
It's a very wonderful question that you've asked right now. I think for the longest time, I was a person who thought that I was strong because I did not cry. There were instances that happened in my life which made me cry enough, and then after that, I learned to stop. However, growing up is a very interesting thing. Growing up, you realize the things that truly matter to you. Between my family, I'm known, or I try to be known, I should say, as the person who doesn't cry during movies. Doesn't matter how sad it is. It could be Marley and Me and it wouldn't happen. That's not the case anymore. Now, when I see a movie which speaks to me because either I can understand the message better or I just relate to it more, I can't say that I sit there and cry, but I'll proudly admit a tear falls out of my eye because I'm just there, thinking about like if it's something sad with a dog, I think about my dogs. If it's something sad that happens in the movie due to a situation that I can relate to, it's really hard to see that and then not relate to it. When it comes to being able to calm myself down, I do find and take a lot of solace in sitting there and trying to cry. I think I'm still too prideful and egotistical, unfortunately, to let out a good cry. I am working on that. However, I do believe in the power of screaming into a pillow. Uh, but it's not the same as screaming into a pillow for me. What I like to do is go on a drive, and as I'm driving, I'll grab onto the wheel tightly and yell as loud as I can, ah, and just let it out. And that 2 seconds of a loud yell can help me calm down from whatever emotion that I'm feeling. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sunny, for sharing your thoughts on how to release the stress. I think we still have one more. Do we have time, Toastmaster?
Yeah, I think we can use this to test Jeff's audio too, if you'd like to take this on. Just because I'm not sure how much time we have left for
No.
usual speech.
Okay.
So let's try Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, if you're available.
Yes, let me try.
Oh yeah, it sounds much
Okay.
better.
It's brown water. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the table topics.
Oh, I'm gonna speak? Okay. All right. Mr. Toastmaster, Phil Toastmaster. My iPhone just ate out. Because I was so stupid, I poured water trying to cool it down for the overheat. So this morning, it's really interesting. I say hello to my body. Remember the guy and myself got a 6-pack in the whole building, plus other buildings. It's about 15,000 people. Only he and me got 6-pack. But that's not the whole story.
The story was, it was 9:56 and I got a meeting and I had to present. So I rushed to go back to my seat. My another coworker said, "Hey, smile." You know what? I hate that. I really hate that. Because the person probably think that was a joking or just, friendly hello. But somehow, if you know me, I'm not a good boy. Man, I've been a gang member when I was little. I hated someone trying to challenge me. And of course, as adulthood, I will be challenged anytime because I'm just a small potato. But the point is, I played a game last year with a person, of course, my coworker, my team member, always came to me and say, "Hey, Jeff, how come you didn't say hello to me?" I say, "Man, you were in the meeting." And you know what? I have to explain, right? I cannot not explain because everybody trying to be a team player. And of course, I'm not a team player. I'm the freaking solo guy. But somehow I learned to act. As I always say, the entire Toastmaster journey is learn to respond positively, but not necessarily your mindset. So the person say, "Hey, Jeff, smile." You know what? I was almost late, and my PC, 20 minutes to get to Baccarat. You think about that. Why I'm saying this detail? It's because when you say something about, "Hey, smile." Last year, I played a game, as I said, to my team member. She always came to me, "Did you say hello to me?" I said, "I did." And this person always want to lift up the monitor. We got 2, 3 monitor. Everybody got a different monitor. And this high, can't even see this person. And somehow I say, "Okay, if you want me to say hello to you, I will come to your freaking seat and say, 'Hey, Brian, I'm here.'" So one day I was acting out because come on, I'm so busy, okay? I have to come to office and then say hello first thing in the whole world. And how can I not act out? Because I really don't care. But you say you don't care why you so much feeling about this. Well, of course, that's a story. So I say hello to you every morning, but sometimes you were in the meeting. Sometimes you were talking to coworker here and there. Don't worry. If I don't say hello because either I'm busy or you are busy, don't feel bad about me not saying hello to you. So the person come back to me. I mean, not the person. I mean, let's go back to the story here. It's, by the way, the timing. Okay, the timing. Please remind me. Otherwise, I'm gonna speak 12 minutes. Smile, Jeff. So the person, one day, I walk to his or her cubicle, and I say, "Hey, you are not happy today, right?" So she realized. She said, "Really? Did I act out?" I said, "No, no, no. Don't worry. Don't worry. The whole story is really there's no freaking person smiling 24 hours a day. So when you're trying to be a nice reminder about here and there, think about yourself." But the person never thought about herself or himself. Remember a story I shared with you all before. And you see my hair here? What is that? Oh, green light. Okay, good. This is a fake hair. It's a jig. Do you believe that? You see, I can pull. And I never dye my hair. And you can see my age, never dye my hair. So this person said, I never dye my hair, you know. I said, really? Then your hair is really shiny and beautiful. Yeah, I don't really dye my hair. I dye my hair every 3 months. And I was like, what the F? Here's a story here. I want you all about the American Idol, remember. People give the feedback and the singer or the performer cry. Why? Because they don't know about themselves. You know, I don't really dye my hair. I only dye 3 months at a time. I'm a nice person. By the way, I always say F word. I'm healthy, but I only get sick once or twice a year. And I got allergy, you know, I got diarrhea all the time. I don't really need to go to freaking Toastmaster because I don't really, uh, 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 what did I say? A lot of people, they don't really read their own mind by reading someone from the mirror. So every time when I try to say I am, no, I'm a jerk. I'm really a jerk, but I learned over years. I know my jerk. Way the jerk, I jerk someone. Because I know everybody. I even trying to laugh already. This is not the angry speech, by the way. This is Jeff style. I try to talk to in your mind saying, every time when you say something about something, and you think you have a good standing to provide the freaking updates, you want to think about yourself. Say, hey, by the way, I'm a happy person. I only, get mad once a while. Mr. Toastmaster, back to you.
Thank you, Jeff, for being able to align it with the speech as well, or the speech theme, I felt, because you were able to really express your emotion as well with the phone. Like, I honestly like this style a little bit because you were able to, like, position it with the camera when you were talking about the camera distance. Anyway, but I'll let the evaluator talk about that. I just thought it was well done. I'll give it a minute of silence if everyone can to mark the feedback form in the chat, and then afterward we'll be able to go right into the evaluation section. Brian, if you can time it for a minute, and you can just change the color afterward. Thank you. Great, thank you, Mr. Timer. And that concludes both these prepared list speeches and the table topics section for today. Thank you, Benson, as well, for conducting table topics. Next, we'll be transitioning to the third section of the meeting, general evaluations. I'll be acting as the general evaluator for today, but I'll be confirming with Betty for next week to see if she could be the Toastmaster. So as a general evaluator, I'll be calling on 2 evaluators. This time it'll be myself for Sib's speech and Sanuj for Jeff's speech. But first, I'd like to put on my evaluation hat and just want to say, fellow Toastmasters, especially you, Sib, thank you for taking on that challenge of the impromptu speeches, especially with getting the question right before and trying to figure out, like, what stories can I bring from this? One thing that I really liked was how you were able to talk about personal stories. Like, you were able to share your thought about the moment before and after, kind of a problem that you're facing, where you used to bottle up emotions before, but eventually you let it out. But now this time it seems like you're encountering a situation where you're not letting it out as much as you used to, and it sounds like you're experiencing new problems that you want to face. I always appreciate a story with a problem that you want to deal with, and I'm glad that you were able to express it early on. The second thing that I truly appreciated was you added your personal thought. And some in speeches, I like personal opinions, but I like it when it's phrased specifically as I think. And I know this is a debated topic where it's like, should we just be confident with what we say in our speech? Personally, I like it when the speaker mentions like I think, or not everyone might feel this way, but I personally believe, etc., etc. It lets us know more about you. And in this context, it was how you wish that acting was part of the regular school curriculum, how you feel like it's really important that this is a thing versus it being a whole law and maybe offending someone or something like that. You were able to use that personal opinion or preface it. So that's something I really liked. A point of improvement, since we're all here in Toastmasters, to figure out how do we improve or how do we make this speech even better? One thing I was thinking of that could be a fun interaction you could add into your speech. It could be mentioning about like, when was the last time you've had a really good cry? And then people might share their answers like, oh yeah, I haven't cried in a year or so. And you might be like, well, I bottled my emotions for a while, and I don't think I've had a good cry since the past 5 years. And then you kind of segue through that. Just finding any small way you can interact with the audience, whether it's a question that you might have as a follow-up to like an answer that you're about to give. So that's just a way you can interact potentially with the impromptu speeches, just to add a momentary interaction with the audience. I think that could elevate the speech even further. But overall, something that I wanted to mention that was the best thing about your speech is I love how calm you are when you take these impromptu speeches. I don't really notice as much hesitation. You're able to flow from one idea to the next, and to me, it logically makes sense each time. This time it was a moment where you were reflecting on a problem that you've had in the past, and then what you notice like works with acting, how you've seen benefits from it, and to a final call to action for yourself where you're like, maybe I should try it out or experience it to re-tap back to my current self. Everything to me felt very chronological, and especially for an impromptu speech, we might all always have these ideas all sorted out, but I think you're always able to consistently do that. So do keep it up. I think with some small audience interaction, maybe a question you feel like you could pose with the audience, either in the beginning or for a setup, can really elevate this further. Overall, great job and keep it up. So that concludes my evaluation. Next, I'd like to call on Sanuj as the second evaluator for Jeff. Please help me welcome Sanuj.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster. Jeff, wonderful speech. As always, firstly, I do want to say that I really appreciate the fact that you're willing to give impromptu speeches so many times. I think it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of genuine skill in order to be able to do this, and that's very respectable. The thing that I enjoyed the most about your speech today was your body language. I think usually you're very good at body language, but especially today, you're changing of the camera angles to be able to talk about different points, you changing the flow of your voice and using volume, whether it was going up or down to kind of engage everyone into your speech. I found that to be very powerful. The best thing about your speech for today was actually the topic. I think the topic is very relatable to everyone. You know, everyone has bad days. I think one of the main themes along with that I came away with was kind of being true to yourself. Because everyone has bad days, you're never going to feel what someone else is feeling, and when someone tells you that, more than it being helpful, it can be a little bit frustrating. So I did take that back from your speech, and that was really nice. In terms of suggestions of improvements, I think it's a little bit hard because you are giving impromptu speeches to have structure. I think you are doing the best that you can with the story that you're trying to tell in the structure. But if you were able to maybe have specific points that you deliver on, give a that would give more clarity to what you're trying to say. So I think that would be great. I think that's it. That's all on my end. Thank you.
Thank you for the feedback, Sanuj, and thank you for being evaluated too last minute as well. Much appreciated. Next, I'd like to call on the functionary reports. Thank you, Brian, for being able to put in the timers report. So I'd like to call on Sonia as the Marian. How do we do on our ahs and our grammar? And did you catch anyone using the word of the day, cathartic?
I certainly did. So let's go through my reports. Vincent, you had great vocalizations today, great grammar. I only caught two small little things with you. You stumbled over your words a couple of times, but recovered very quickly. You did that twice today. And of course, you did use the word of the day, introducing it, and a couple other times today. So great job. Thank you very much. Sib, of course, you also used the word of the day. You have a great knack for telling stream of conscious storytelling. Your storytelling is really great in that way. Today, you tended to use and as a bridge between your sentences and your thoughts. It was almost as if you started a thought and you completed it and then used an and to start the next thought. So I would try to encourage you to think about just pausing for a second. There's nothing wrong with just taking a breath or just pausing in between. There can be a little bit of, dead air time, not a lot, but a little bit is perfectly okay. Just, a little pause is always can add for a dramatic effect as well. And then one thing I also wanted to caution you on that I saw was that you kept tilting your head a little too far forward to where we couldn't see your face. So all we saw was the top of your head. So you lost eye contact with your audience. So I just wanted to put that out there so you can think about that in case you were, doing a contest here with us. Jeff, one item that I wanted to go over with you is a grammatical thing. You said we got a six-pack. Taken out of context, right? Sounds like you're going to the grocery store to pick up beer, right? So in the context of your speech, it would have been better to say we have six-pack abs. So if I were you, I would think about changing that grammar just a little bit. And a couple things that you said today that I really liked was that you said that you use the phrase respond positively. And even though you took it in a little different direction, when you first said it, I was like, wow, I really love that. You said, I know my jerk. And I really liked that. It's like, I know my jerk personality. And I really resonated with that. And I really liked that. There are a few people in my life, I wish they knew their jerk personality or their inner jerkness. I really like that. I'm going to have to remind a few people to get to know that part of themselves. Let's see. Brian, as always, very expressive, very comedic. I loved the reference to the Baby Me Mine song. And you used the word of the day twice. Very good. Thank you. Benson, of course, you used the word of the day. I didn't catch any grammatical errors. Sanju, today you had a couple of words that you sort of used repetitively. You used, and so. And I just realized in my brain, I've used and so quite a bit in this report. It happens. We're human. It's okay. We can all get better. You also used the word of the day. And other than what I just caught for myself, I didn't catch anything else, but I do know that I used the word of the day. And that's it. Thank you very much. Back to you, Vincent.
Thank you so much, Sonia, for the grammarians, Marian's report, and the word counter. Lots of reports there. Thank you so much for being able to fill this in. Now I'll be able to give my evaluation of the meeting as a whole. I'd say overall, we started a little bit late, so that's something that I'd like to work on. I remember starting at 12:07 when normally we should be starting at 12:05. So something I could do better is filling up the roles right in advance. And then once the 12:05 starts, I just say, Jeff, you're up. And then he was able to start off the meeting right on time. The next thing that I think could be enhanced for this particular one, I noticed that the transition between table topics and myself, I wanted to improve on that one. So I think the moment that Benson handed off to me, I should have taken the lead firmly and mentioned, next we'll be introducing Jeff as our speaker, something like that, just to help the flow more clearly, and that way the speaker will be able to start off strong. So that's something that I'd like to improve on as a Toastmaster today, or in case anyone is a future Toastmaster today, to see if you can handle each transition as a Toastmaster. Just take hold of it and pass it off to the next person. Overall, though, I really appreciate everyone being able to step up, filling in different roles very flexibly. I think that's something I'm very proud of with the club. I know with some other clubs, they might hesitate on taking certain roles, but I think with us, we're all very good at like, oh yeah, seeing on impromptu speech, definitely do that. Or evaluator can do that. So thank you, Sanuj, Sib, Jeff, for being able to step up, and Ryan, basically everyone here. Thank you so much, everyone, for being able to fill on such short notice. With that, I'd like to transition to the conclusion part of the meeting where we're going to be filling roles. That way we can support our next Toastmaster. In this case, Betty mentioned she's not able to make it this week, but she can support next week. So we have the Toastmaster of the day determined. Was there anyone who would like to take on a speaking role? I know that Joanne mentioned that she wasn't able to give a speech this week, but can give it next week. So we have one speaker slot open.
I should be able to take that speaker slot for next week.
Nice. So Nuja, I'll put you down as speaker number 2. Is there anyone who would like to give table topics for next week? Sip, all right. I'll put you down for table topics. And then for general evaluator, anyone who'd be able to take this on? Benson, do you think you'd be able to be here next week?
Yeah, of course.
All right, I'll put you down as general evaluator. Sonia, how does the schedule look? Do you think you could do
Sure.
evaluator?
Yeah, I can do evaluator. It's looking better.
Okay.
My
I'll put you
Tuesdays are
down.
clearing up.
Okay. Yeah, we got to have you back. We've
I
missed
keep
you.
moving stuff away from Tuesday. Like, no, Tuesdays are not, no.
We appreciate it, Sonia. And we're glad to see you again, too. So I'll put you down as evaluator 1, Sonia. And then
Okay.
for evaluator 2, was there anyone who would like to give this a shot? Jeff, did you want to take on evaluator?
Sure.
Okay, I'll put you down as an evaluator for Sanuj. And Brian, would you be open to do Marion? Would that work?
Yeah, that sounds fun.
All right. All right, I think most of this is all filled. Betty will be happy about this. No need to worry about next week. Okay, I think with that, I'll turn it over to Benson in case you'd like to take a photo or anything to close.
Oh, Benson, it's me. Okay, I'll
Yes.
take the photo first. Okay, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, cheese. Okay, I got a photo.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Benson. And in terms of announcements, I think in general is just make sure that if you haven't done the renewals yet, to
Yes.
please renew by the end of the month. We've already submitted the club success plan, so don't need to worry about that. All we need to focus on is renewals. And if you are interested in a humorous speech in the humorous speech contest, I believe submissions are due in a few days by the end of the week, so September 26th. So in case you're interested in giving a humorous speech, it could be an old speech that you've done before, but the only thing that's the key requirement is that you have to be in person on October 25th. So that is one requirement. So if you are interested, feel free to submit, but they are expecting you to be in person later on to present it if you do move on to the next stage. All right, I think with that, I'll turn it over to Jeff to have a energetic close. Jeff, I'll let you close as a Sergeant Arms.
Really, that's a new procedure. All right.
Oh, maybe I might be mixing things together. It might be the president that closes.
One,
So,
Sergeant at Arms can be pretty busy too, in the real, in-person meeting. So that's fine. So what do you think? Of course, excellent meeting today, right? Especially outside the temperature. I probably weighed about 0.2 pounds, and which is a free whatever, free good, free whatever for you, for everybody. So stay dry, hot, and get sweat. And then think about your Toastmaster all the time. Back to you, our what? Our
yeah,
presiding officer who
Yeah, I think normally it's Daniel who's not here, but so it'll be
Yeah.
you for today, Jeff. We call it a close.
Okay, close. Let's close.
All
Okay.
right, thanks
Thank you.
everyone. See you all next week. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.